China and France are taking over with this $3 billion order. The European monopoly of the large cruise ship market will go in the future. Can China thereby end Europe's monopoly in the production of large cruise ships? In today's video, we will be discussing the consequences of China and France signing a $3 billion US dollar container ship order. Large cruise ships are not only the largest and most valuable large ships, but also the most complex and challenging to build large ships, making them one of the three pearls in the world of shipbuilding industry. So having the ability to construct massive cruise ships also indicates a nation's overall technological level of manufacturing prowess. A company in China assisted the United States and Italy in the construction of a sizable cruise ship with a length of 323.6 meters and a breadth of 37.2 meters that cost $760 million US dollars. The Russian media has hailed the birth of this massive cruise ship as a reformer of the massive cruise ship market. The European monopoly of the large cruise ship market will go in the future. Thus, is it possible for China to end Europe's monopoly of the production of large cruise ships? Among all ship types in the world, cruise ships are known for being among the most challenging to construct. Together with LNG tankers and huge aircraft carriers, they are also regarded as the three most challenging ships to construct in the world. Italy, Germany, France, and the Netherlands are the only four nations in the world with the capacity to construct large cruise ships at the moment. The worldwide market share has thus been virtually monopolized by these four nations. The cruise industry generated more than $65 billion US dollars in sales in 2019, due to the astounding revenues made by the worldwide cruise industry. Large cruise ships have long been deployed by Japan and South Korea, two strong shipbuilding nations. However, these two nations ultimately did not make much progress because of factors including supporting equipment and the great difficulty of construction. For instance, a 19-hour fire that started in the shipyard during the construction of the Diamond Princess in Japan, as a result of inadequate supporting equipment, resulted in significant damages. Later, a second fire occurred during the construction of huge cruise ships as a result of the difficult construction and incorrect operation. Despite their failure, the Japanese were able to construct the Diamond Princess. Due to excessive expenditures and other factors, they ultimately had to give up vying for the market for huge cruise ships. South Koreans don't appear to be alarmed by Japan's failure either, as South Korea's STX Group took advantage of the deep financial crisis in Europe in 2008 to buy Finland's Aker company and formally proclaim its debut into the cruise sector. The next year, STX Group bought the French shipyard Atlantic Shipyard. It is evident that South Korea acquired these significant cruise ship manufacturers and then progressively transferred the technology for building cruise ships to South Korea. The year 2023 will usher in a new era for China's shipbuilding sector. H1508, the first large-scale cruise ship manufactured in China this year, will finish undocking, site-worthy, and delivery. If everything goes according to plan, China will end the century-long monopoly of European shipbuilding firms. The amount of technology aboard big cruise ships is really great. It is sometimes referred to as one of the three pearls of the global shipbuilding industry, alongside LNG tankers and aircraft carriers. It is also the ship with the largest added value, the most arduous construction, and the most complicated engineering. Consider the domestic cruise ship of China. Its gross weight surpasses 140,000 tons, and its overall length exceeds 340 meters. Its size is greater than China's recently unveiled aircraft carrier, Xinjiang, in terms of both length and tonnage, and its construction is more intricate. The number of its parts alone exceeds 25 million, which is 250 times greater than that of regular cars, 10 times greater than that of high-speed rail, and more than 5 times greater than that of aeroplanes, so that we can appreciate how challenging its manufacturing must be. Such shipbuilding technology will directly train a large number of shipbuilding engineers in any nation that can obtain it. Large cruise ships can thus be used to gauge a nation's scientific prowess and shipbuilding sector. Europe had control of this technology in the past. 95% of the market share was held by the four largest European shipbuilding companies. The United States, Japan, and South Korea all made significant financial bets on this technology, but they all failed miserably. However, no one anticipated that China would be the first to make a breakthrough. Two sizable cruise ships are currently being built, with one of them due for delivery this year. So why is it so challenging, you ask? What did China do that Japan and South Korea were unable to do? Is building a large cruise ship really challenging exactly? The answer is really challenging. The international shipping market had been in a slump since the purchase of the Atlantic shipyard in France that year, which had a negative impact on the tourism sector. With a significant loss of $1 billion USD, in just 5 years, South Korea and the two newly acquired cruise firms both incurred severe losses. Ultimately, South Korea decided to officially exit the huge cruise ship manufacturing sector and shelved the acquired firm. How much difficulty will China's growing cruise manufacturer sector encounter? As is well known, China has only recently started operating in the major cruise market. A large cruise ship has yet to be successfully built and delivered in China, and the country still struggles to find top-tier personnel in the cruise business. A $760 million cruise contract, however, was inked by Chinese businesses in 2018 with Carnival of the United States and Fincantieri of Italy. These two businesses will receive a sizable cruise ship from China in 2023 that measures 323.6 meters in length and 37.2 meters in breadth. The Vista class of large cruise ships have construction challenges that are 4 times greater than those of regular cruise ships. Our curiosity is piqued, though, by the 2 unsuccessful instances of South Korea and Japan. How was this order obtained by China? By verifying the data, we discovered that China's market share for LNG carriers is gradually rising. For instance, China's share of LNG carrier orders in 2021 is only 7.4%. The strength of China's shipbuilding sector, which is acknowledged by nations around the world, was also demonstrated by these facts. In addition, the number of tourists surged by 50% annually when China first encountered huge luxurious cruise ships in 2006. By 2017, China had successfully eclipsed Europe to overtake the United States as the second-largest cruise market worldwide. China will keep expanding at a 10% rate until 2020, and the earnings from this are quite alluring. However, the fact that China's industrial sector is still developing implies that building costs will be considerably lower. For instance, it cost $860 million to build Venice in Italy. The cost will drop to $600 million if China constructs this substantial cruise ship. It is clear that capitalists can save a lot of money in addition to making a lot of money. This is the reason why American and Italian companies inked cruise agreements with China. So how long will it take China to construct this cruise ship successfully? The construction of a huge cruise ships will start in China in October 2019. And by July 2022, its primary generators will have been successfully produced. The generator on a cruise ship functions like the human heart in that it supplies energy for other machinery, and it also signals when a ship is about to be finished by beating. Because of this, the cruise ship will be prepared for undocking in May 2023, go through sea trials in July of the same year, and be given to its owner by the end of that year. We are all aware that this is China's first substantial cruise ship, but that doesn't mean the country has perfected the art of cruise travel. Consequently, why are media outlets stating that China is going to end European monopoly of the major cruise ship market? The country of China is very well designed. By 2025, the localization rate of Chinese cruise packages is expected to be at least 50%, according to a goal they released in 2023. More than 80% of Chinese cruise ships will be built locally by 2030. It is evident that China is really interested in gaining market share for cruises. The enormous cruise industry in China was previously underdeveloped. Chinese cruise ship technology is currently on the verge of surpassing that of European nations, as China steadily gained control of the fundamental technologies involved. Additionally, because China is a major manufacturing nation, its labor costs are quite low. This also implies that the cost of production is relatively low. More and more nations will visit Chinese-built huge cruise ships as a result of the collision of low cost and excellent technology. China is expected to end Europe's monopoly on manufacturing large cruise ships in the future. The building of cruise ships is distinct from the building of regular ships. However, huge cruise ships are entertainment vessels with thousands of cabins. The funfair Diamond Princess was built for the first time by Japan's Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in 2002. One of the biggest shipbuilding firms in the world is Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. They have expertise in constructing a range of ships under their banner. Mitsubishi took the initiative to enter the bidding process with the German AIDA Cruise Line, who also desired to grow their business. However, AIDA Cruises was unwilling to allow Mitsubishi to carry out the building because of their prior cruise fire tragedy. Mitsubishi made numerous commitments in order to secure the AIDA Cruises contract. The construction term and breach of contract fee are two of the most crucial ones. Approximately speaking, it means that Mitsubishi Heavy Industries pledged to finish the first cruise ship in about 23 months. If it cannot be finished, a significant breach of contract cost will be owed for each day of delay. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries has no right to make that promise. It took 4 years to eventually create this cruise ship, and Mitsubishi endured significant losses because they have such rich experience. After then, Mitsubishi once more said that it was abandoning the ambitious cruise project. Why are there often fires and other issues with Mitsubishi's ability to handle large cruise ships? In actuality, this is related to how complicated huge cruise ships are. The first is the complexity of the design. Its workload is comparable to that of remaking a small city. As a result, an appropriate arrangement is required, which should be taken into account when developing designs. The style of the ship must be designed after the layout has been created. A large cruise ship must welcome travelers from all over the world because it serves as both a ship, hotel, and an entertainment city. Additionally, there are highly tight design specifications for security, comfort, entertainment, and other areas, especially security. If there is an accident, external rescue will be quite challenging because the cruise liner is on the water. Since the standards of safe return support SRTP must be incorporated into cruise ship design, the International Maritime Organization made this explicit in 2006. As a result of numerous criteria, designing a large cruise ship is exceedingly laborious and challenging, and necessitates 10,000 design drawings. Therefore, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries ultimately delivered its first substantial cruise ship in 2016 after 3 delays. They did the math using their finances and discovered that the contract for this ship only cost $800 million. This raises the question of why China boarded the massive cruise ship following Japan's devastating defeat. It can also generate enormous revenues in addition to raising the industry's overall standard. The most value-added and most lucrative commodity in the shipbuilding sector is the opulent cruise liner itself. Additionally, China has a substantial luxury cruise ship market. China also places a lot of emphasis on the development of luxury cruise ships as a result. According to estimates, China's yearly cruise market would have 14 million passengers by 2035, making it the largest cruise market in the world. Conquering the technology for building luxury cruise ships is a crucial first step for China to capture the luxury cruise market. During this time, China established numerous laws to boost the nation's cruise sector. The first substantial cruise ship's construction officially began in 2019. The hull's total length, 323.6 meters, is comparable to a 16-story entertainment city. China will formally begin work on the second huge cruise ship in August 2022, before the first domestic cruise ship's construction is finished. This time, the forerunners of global shipbuilding will encounter what is referred to as China's learning speed. The localization rate of domestic cruise ships will reach 50% by 2025, according to China's strategy. the localization rates of domestic cruise ships will surpass 80% by 2030. By then, China will have essentially mastered all technology, leading to the rapid development of both domestic cruise ships and an industrial chain of large cruise ships. That's all. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get more videos.